not every ADHD struggles like this, but a lot do. So if you're an ADHD, you're likely to struggle with falling asleep at night, and also there's a thing called revenge procrastination. So they like staying up at night when the house is quiet and still, and they feel like that's their time, the first time in the day where they can just be themselves. So they'll often go to bed very late, and then they will find it really hard to wake up. And some of them sleep so soundly that they might sleep through 12 alarms.
Wow.
And so they might wake up panicky. They might also wake up with a lot of overthinking and dread about the day, like how they're going to get through the day. But by the time they get themselves out of bed, they might then stagger to the bathroom and hop in the shower, and they might get distracted in the shower. So already they're late because they haven't been able to get up, or they've slept through alarms and they're feeling panicky. But a lot of ADHDers can't keep their focus on the thing that they are supposed to be doing. Like that just disappears, and they're very taken to whatever is in front of them. So if they're in the shower and enjoying the shower, or there's a song on or music on or whatever it is, or they're replaying something in their mind, maybe then they've spent 15 minutes in the shower instead of 5 minutes. And again, not aware of time. A lot of people with ADHD are not aware of time passing. It's just a different brain type. And so then they might scream out of the shower, noticing what the time is, feeling even more panicky, go into the kitchen to make themselves a coffee or something, and then see something on the counter that is pretty interesting, and again lose track of time and get lost in that, and then again get panicky, and so on and so on and so on. The whole morning can go like that. Maybe someone's screaming at them now because now, they've let other people down, or the kids are going to be late, or whatever it is. Now they can't find their keys. And so then it goes into overdrive. The keys, where did I put my keys? People usually know where their phone is, but their keys, if they're not in a good habit. And so then they're, tearing through the house trying to find their keys. When they finally manage to get out of the house, and by the way, they probably left the washing in the washing machine, and and it hasn't been dry, so now they're picking through the dirty washing and trying to find something that is, bearable for everybody to be around for the rest of the day. So this is oftentimes how much time, energy, stress, and hassle
that does sound very stressful.
Yeah, it does,
so does
doesn't
that
it?
raise their anxiety right at the start of the day?
Yeah, and it's used up all their energy already. Yeah. And then if you add in, it's not just ADHDers, it's most of us, if they've been scrolling on their phone in the morning and they've used up all their dopamine, that just makes everything even harder.
There is a link with the dopamine. Do you want to quickly talk about that?
Yeah. This was a bit that really fascinated me, actually, in what you said. Yeah, I was really like, holy moly, that makes so much sense now as to why people feel like they're lazy or they're unmotivated.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the genesis of it, why it is this, but ADHDers tend to have inconsistent access to dopamine. And by that I mean sometimes they have a lot of it, and they call that hyperfocus. So a lot of people might have heard of hyperfocus. And a lot of times they have very little access to dopamine. And this is, like taking screens and other things out of the picture. But dopamine is required when we want to engage in a goal-oriented task. So, for example, getting out of the house in the morning, or brushing your teeth, or doing the dishes, or completing an assignment, whatever it is, vacuuming the floor. If we don't have dopamine, we can't get it done. No one can. And there was some research, I don't think I said this previously, but there was some research done on these, and it's lab animals, so this is cruel, but they did some experiments where I think they genetically modified the mice so they didn't have any access to dopamine at all, and one by one they experimented with various mice, and they placed the mouse here and the food 6 inches away from the mouse, and every mouse died of starvation.
I heard this recently.
Yeah.
I picked it up on a pod. Well, I
Yeah.
listened to lots of different podcasts, but I literally heard that
Yeah.
bit of research recently. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Because if you don't have dopamine, you can't activate yourself and achieve a goal. And the goal is feeding myself. A lot of ADHDers struggle to feed themselves. And it doesn't make sense to people who don't struggle with dopamine that would be the case. And so there's certain tasks that will flood an ADHDer's brain with dopamine and cause hyperfocus. And then there's a lot of tasks that just drain all the dopamine away. So they just can't get it done. And so at university, that tends to be things like assignments, coming to uni, all of that sort of thing.
And is
really
the
hard.
hyper-focus ones anything creative or exciting? Like, is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, so there seem to be themes to it. So one is urgency. So a lot of ADHDers will be very familiar with not being able to do something until it's the last minute. So they, always did their assignments at the last minute, or a project, or even cleaning the house. They have to invite someone over in order to get the dopamine, to get the house cleaned. So there's urgency. There's interest. So if they're interested in something, then they can get flooded with dopamine. So think about computer games for a lot of ADHDers. If it's something that they're interested in, you can't shift there. It can be. When you're in hyperfocus, there could be a bomb going off and they won't hear it. Like, it's just that they're really, really focused. For some people, they choose a career that is in their interest area, in which case that's a good match. Another one is novelty, so new, anything that's new, because ADHD brains tend to be curious brains. So anything that they haven't seen before, they'll have some dopamine so that they can focus on that. Yeah. The other one that I've identified is when they're doing something for somebody else. They're doing a favour for somebody else. So let's say you can't clean your house, but your friend is struggling, you will be flooded with dopamine. You can go and clean their house.
Wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of Kelly the whole way through this. One of my friends, because one time I went to her house and I helped her fold 6 baskets of laundry.
Yeah, that's a common one.
And I know that because I hurt my back afterwards, leaning over the table. But I remember thinking, gosh, she just gets overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah.
But yet this is a person that doesn't stop. She's constantly on the go. She's a teacher.
Yep.
Actually, she put on our group chat the other day all the things that she did cooking-wise to avoid something else that she didn't want to do.
Because she probably likes cooking.
Yeah,
that's
she does
probably
like
an
cooking.
interest of hers.
She does.